Hello, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be analyzing the poem Voices of the Mountain by Mamang, who is a contemporary Indian poet and journalist best known for her novel The Black Hill. And in this poem, Voices of the Mountain, the poet voices the unheard words of the mountain, who is portrayed as a guardian spirit of the land of wonders. And through this portrayal, the poet is trying to achieve a universal approach to finding the meaning of the world as well as that of life. And here, the mountain is a symbol of the spirit that guides humanity, redefines the unknown, and makes one peaceful. She is attempting to describe the language of the mountain and what it experienced in the past as well as what it is experiencing in the present. And to talk a bit about the structure, there are 9 stanzas, no specific rhyme scheme or meter. And here, the main poetic device or literary device is that of personification, that is, the mountain itself is narrating its own story. So, let's go to the stanza wise analysis. In the first stanza, we see the mountain at a high platform who is visualizing everything that is happening beneath it. So it feels like it is a god. And the mountain says that it can see the ferry lights that cross the big rivers below. And although the ferry boat is at a distance, it can see the ferry lights crisscrossing on the river. And the main poetic device here is synecdoche. Synecdoche means part of a whole. So here the ferry lights stand for, or it represents the entire boat. Although the mountain is not able to see the boat at such a far distance, the ferry, it can see the ferry light, and so the ferry light represent the entire boat on the river. And in the second stanza, the mountain says that it knows about the town and the estuary of the rivers. And again, there's a representation of how its view, it's making him feel like almighty. And then it points at the sea and says that it can see the colors of the sky getting reflected on the sea water. Here there is a metaphor, because the mountain metaphorically outlines the chapters of the world. It might be a reference to the rivers itself. The metaphor can also refer to the past episode that the sea observed, as it is also ancient like the mountain. So what it means is that the mountain and the sea and the sky, they are all elements of the nature which had been here from time immemorial. We don't know when exactly the mountain came to be here, or when did the sky evolve or anything like that. So we term it as ancient, which is element of nature itself. And so they have collectively watched many things that have happened in the past, about how wars happened, conflicts happened, people died, how societies changed, and how the forest areas are being cleared for construction purposes, and so on and so forth. And in the third stanza, we have another personality coming in. The poet talks about a young man bringing a fish as an offering to the spirit of the mountain, as he couldn't speak. So the person is mute, he can't speak, and he wants to a miracle to happen. And so there is this superstition that the mountain is, there is a god spirit inside the mountain, and if you worship the mountain, it could bless you. And so the person believes this, and it is offering a fish to the mountain, so that he thinks the mountain could take pity on him and would grant him his voice back. And according to the mountain, such acts of pleasing it are repeated. That is, almost a lot of people have this believe the superstition that mountains have an element of God inside, and worshipping such elements of nature will bring all sorts of blessings and miracle into one's life. And moreover, it says that as territories are forever ancient as well as new, there is always a shift. However, the essence remains the same at the end, because no matter how many societies come about, no matter how many people vouch for development, or we talk about modernization, but within that modernization, there is still a superstition. There are still people who believe in such superstitions or such beliefs, and that is what the modernists saying, that no matter how modern a society is, such beliefs, such ancient thoughts and principles will always remain the same. And in the fourth stanza, we see another narrator. It could be the poet herself. There is a second speaker who sees this young man doing the reverence, who is offering the fish to the mountain, and the second speaker also makes reference to the mountain when it comes in sight. So probably the second speaker also believes in the fact that the mountain has some god-like abilities. And in the next stanza, the soliloquy of the mountain continues. The mountain says that it is like an old man who is sipping the forever young breeze to keep his soul fresh. The poet uses the breeze here as a symbol of youthfulness and vigor. Moreover, the mountain says it is the macrocosm of the universe. Within its voice, one can hear the sea waves and the wind circling the mountain peak. And whereas the language of the humans change gradually, the voice of the mountain doesn't change, it is eternal. According to the poet, it is a chant syllable that orders the world. It is the voice of the creator, and in the mountain's ancient language, one can find the history and miracle of mankind. Through this reference, the poet associates the concept of universal language. So basically what this stanza means is that the mountain says it feels like an old man. Why? Because it's an element of nature which have been here for so many years. It is ancient, and for in that sense it is feeling old. And but the breeze that is blowing is giving it, is refreshing it, is making it feel youthful and vigor. So all of this is personifications. Although the mountain is an inanimate object, the poet is giving human-like qualities to the mountain and making it say that it feels like an old man, and the breeze is a symbol of youthfulness that is giving a refreshment to the mountain. And then it says that since it is ancient, its presence or its authority will always be there. It is always an element of nature. It has always been an element of nature and will continue to do so. And unlike the human language, the language of nature can never change. And in the next stanza, it is continuing its universality. It says that it is the desert and the moisture of the monsoon. That is, everything in nature is interconnected. Wherever we see the mountain in every type of locality. Even in deserts, we see the mountain range. There are mountain ranges, and even when it comes to rainforest and so on, there could be mountains or hills or such things. So that is, nature is always interconnected. Forest, mountains, sky and sea, they are always present together, and they are all elements of nature which have been here from ancient times itself. And the mountain says, this is the exact idea when the mountain says it finds its manifestation in a bird that lives in the west. So this is basically the voice of the mountain, that nature is eternal and nature is ancient as well as new. And you can never replace nature, no matter how much a society claims to be modern, you can never replace nature. And then That is what the mountain says when it again says that it feels like an old man. Old because it is ancient, and old because it has seen so many changes in human society. And it says that it has a lot of wisdom and knowledge inside it, because it sees every little thing that is occurring in the world. And here there is another reference of cloud. Now cloud here is another symbol. Just like the breeze was a symbol of youthfulness, the cloud is a symbol of uncertainty and pessimism and grievous thought, because the mountain is saying, since I am old, since I am ancient, I have seen so many changes, so many events in the world. I know that the war that is happening, societies are keep on changing. And how do they change? War, through war. So this kind of human war and man-made destructions and disasters, these are all happening very continuously and disastrously. And that is what grieving the mountain, because it knows that such events have been there from so many years before, and it is still continuing, and it will happen in the future as well. So many wars and conflict will happen, so many people would die. And again, in the name of modernization, nature is being absolutely destroyed without any replacement. And that is what is grieving the mountain, because it's not able to do anything to prevent this. And that is what the seventh stanza also talks about. The seventh stanza talks about the hopelessness that the mountain feels. It is the hopelessness at the end of the universe, and what remains is a dream of permanence. This dream is what keeps every living embodiment moving with the spirit of the world. Thereafter, the poem uses a paradoxical affirmation that peace is falsity or daydream. Only a moment of rest comes after a long combat. Whereas the war of life continues, there are only pauses in the sentence of the universe. To live in peace is to live in an illusion. So, what the mountain says is that since all these disasters and conflict and war is going on, there is a sense of hopelessness. Even though we all crave for peace and universal brotherhood, it is more or less a dream or an illusion, because we can never get world peace absolutely, like 100% world peace, if such incidents keep on occurring. That's what the mountain says. It says to live in peace is like a dream, it's an illusion. And in the eighth stanza, there is an idea of a warrior who is returning with the blood of peonies, and this is a contrasting image which says that struggle and beauty coexist. We can never guarantee 100% world peace, because there will always be a person or an entire community or something or someone who will be struggling to live or to survive. And so the mountain says that it is like a woman but lost in the translation of time. But still, it tries to live in eternal happiness. On whatever small moments of peace it gets, it is trying to survive, because even though it is an element of nature, it knows that someday it will also get reduced to a sand, or it will also get destroyed in the name of construction projects and so on. So till that event could happen, it is trying to live in us. And in the final stanza, the mountain refers to its magnanimity. It creates a passage for the canyon to breathe. This is how the mountain's destruction starts. Canyons are built through it so that vehicles or even road or the railway tracks could be built for it. And then again, for some construction purpose or anything, the mountain would be destroyed, and maybe a resort or a living area would come in place of it. And that is what the poet also says at the end, because for the poet, the mountain is a place where memory escapes from one's mind, and here the myth of time doesn't work. One loses the track of time as if it holds near the mountain in awe. At last, the poetic persona says that she is the sleep that exists in the mind of the mountain. In this way, the poet presents her similarity with the spirit of the mountain. ഈ ഒരു പോയറ്റിൽ മെയിനായിട്ട് വരുന്ന തീമും ഇത് തന്നെയാണ്. ഒരു സിംഗിൾ തീമേ ഉള്ളൂ എന്ന് നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റും. കാരണം നേച്ചറാണ് ഏറ്റവും പ്രീഡോമിനൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഇതിൽ പറയുന്നത്. മൗണ്ടൻ്റെ ഒരു പേഴ്സോണിഫിക്കേഷൻ വെച്ചിട്ട് എങ്ങനെയാണ് പ്രകൃതി നശിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റും. കാരണം ആദ്യം ആ ഒരു രീതിയിലൊരു മൗണ്ടൻ്റെ പേഴ്സോണിഫിക്കേഷൻ ഇവിടെ വരുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിലും എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് കാണുന്നത്, പിന്നെ ആൾക്കാരുടെ ഒരു സൂപ്പർസ്റ്റിഷൻ, പർവ്വതങ്ങളെ വേർഷിപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്, ആ ഒരു ബിലീഫുണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ കൂട്ടത്തിൽ. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു ബിലീഫിനെ കുറിച്ചൊക്കെ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. ഒരു കാലത്ത് അങ്ങനെ പ്രകൃതിയെ ആരാധിക്കുകയും പൂജിക്കുകയും ചെയ്തിരുന്ന സമയം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നെങ്കിലും ഇപ്പോഴും അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു വിശ്വാസം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും അത് കുറഞ്ഞു വരെയാണ്. മോഡേണൈസേഷൻ്റെ ഒരു ബലത്തിൽ കൂടുതലും പ്രകൃതിയെ ദ്രോഹിക്കാൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പ്രകൃതിയെ നശിപ്പിക്കാനുള്ളൊരു തോന്നലാണ് കൂടുതലും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പ്രവൃത്തികളാണ് കൂടുതലും ഇപ്പോൾ വരുന്നത്. അതുതന്നെ ആയിരിക്കാം ഒരു ലാസ്റ്റ് ഒരു സ്റ്റാൻസ വരുമ്പോഴും നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട്, മൗണ്ടൻ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്, ഒരു ഹോപ്പ്ലെസ്നെസ് പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. അതായത് കാര്യങ്ങൾ എന്തൊക്കെയാണെങ്കിലും ഒരു രീതിയിൽ ഒരു പെസിമിസം മൗണ്ടന് തന്നെ തോന്നിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. കാരണം അത് ഇത്രയും കാലങ്ങളായിട്ട് കണ്ടുവരുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മുടെ സമൂഹത്തിൽ മാറ്റങ്ങൾ വരുന്നതെന്ന് ഈ ഒരു പർവ്വതം കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. എങ്ങനെയാണ് യുദ്ധങ്ങളും സംഘർഷങ്ങളും നടക്കുന്നതെന്നും ആൾക്കാർ മരിക്കുന്നതെന്നും അതിലൂടെ പുതിയ സൊസൈറ്റി എങ്ങനെയാണ് വരുന്നതെന്നും പിന്നീട് എങ്ങനെയാണ് പ്രകൃതി ഓരോന്നായിട്ട് നശിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നതെന്നും ഉള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ പർവ്വതങ്ങൾ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഒരുപക്ഷെ ഭാവിയിൽ ഈ പർവ്വതവും നശിച്ചേക്കാം. കാരണം പ്രകൃതിയെ നശിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ടുള്ള പല രീതിയിലുള്ളൊരു പ്രോജക്ട്സ് നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ കൂടുതലും കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. അതിനൊരിക്കലും നമുക്കൊരു റീപ്ലേസ്മെൻറ്റ് വെക്കാൻ സാധിക്കുമോ ഇല്ലയോ എന്നുള്ളതൊരു ചോദ്യചിഹ്നമാണ്. കാരണം ഒരു കാട് നശിപ്പിക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിന് പകരമായിട്ടൊരു കാട് വെച്ച് പിടിപ്പിക്കണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പോലും അത് എത്രമാത്രം നടക്കുമെന്നുള്ളത് സംശയകരമാണ്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഒരു രീതിയിൽ ഒരു വശത്ത് പ്രകൃതിയെ നശിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു, പക്ഷെ അതേസമയം ആ ഒരു നശിപ്പിക്കപ്പെടുന്ന പ്രകൃതിയെ അതിന് പകരമായിട്ട് വേറൊരു കാടോ മലയോ ഒരു പുഴയോ നമുക്ക് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നുമില്ല. അപ്പോൾ അവസാനം അതാണ് പറയുന്നത്. കാരണം നമ്മളൊരു ലോക സമാധാനം എന്നുള്ളത് നമ്മൾ എപ്പോഴും ആഗ്രഹിക്കുകയും പറയുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നൊരു കാര്യമാണെങ്കിലും അത് 100% സാധ്യമാകുമോ എന്നത് സംശയകരമാണ്. അതാണ് ഈ ഒരു പോയത്തിലെ മെയിൻ തീം. So that's the short analysis of the poem. I hope this was useful, and if you have anything more to add, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comment section, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.